Rishabh Pant's Lucknow Super Giants up against Delhi captain Axar Patel. Now, we don't quite know if KL Rahul will be playing. They're not too sure. But for Rishabh Pant to partner with Justin Langer, an Aussie with a young Indian superstar, it has worked for him in the past with Ricky Ponting. But Pant and Justin Langer, what do you make?
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at. I think the opposites can be attracted to each other.
Are they opposites?
Well, I'm looking at Rishabh Pant, Justin Langer, very, very intense. Yeah. Justin Langer that was so driven, determined, maximised every ounce of what he got given. Then you've got Rishabh, who just looks like a carefree cricketer who just gives it a good old Yahoo. That could work. You know, look, Justin Langer's been a brilliant coach. He did so well for Australia. He'll have them playing in a very strategic way.
Yeah.
He'll have them, he will look at the data, he'll look at all the information, but within that, he'll want the likes of Rishabh Pant to go out and just express his talents.
Yep.
I would think he'll probably bat him higher up the order. I would think he'll be looking
at... Is he open for you?
No, I don't think so. Maybe 3. If I'm managing Rishabh Pant, I want him facing as many of those 120 balls as possible. He's got the ability to get me 3 figures, so I'd hope want him coming down the back end just to get a cameo, 40 or 50.
Who opens?
Well, I have him opening the batting in this side. So I've got Mitch Marsh and Rishabh Pant at the top. Nicholas Pooran at 3, Markram at 4, Miller at 5. That's how I want that line. And I think that top 5 is as good as most in the competition or any in the competition. Now, other than that, I don't know who else could open.
Marsh, maybe?
Well, Marsh is...
Marsh and Pant, yeah.
I just have Marsh and Pant at the top of the order for me. And it's not... Yeah. I mean, he's so talented, Rishabh Pant. But I want Pooran at 3, and then Markram and Miller.
Would Markram open?
He could open. They may ask him to open, but you got 2 right-handers at the top. Then I'd prefer to just have a left and a right combo with Nicky P at 3 and Markram, and just go at them. You go. I mean, if those 3 get going,
it wouldn't surprise me.
You talk about Sharma, Kishan, and Head.
Yeah.
If those 3 get going, please look out.
It wouldn't surprise me if they went. If they went something like Marsh at 3, Markram, Pant, Marsh, and then Pooran at 4. They might go with something like that, but I agree with Doull. That on paper, we talked about Sunrisers being a bowler's nightmare. That's not far off.
But their bigger worry, Michael, is the bowling. Lots of injuries. Mohsin Khan out of the tournament. In comes Shardul Thakur. The other injuries, Mayank Yadav injured, Avesh Khan. Akash Deep still recovering. Where are the bowlers?
Well, they've got Bishnoi, so he's going to have to bowl nice.
Can't bowl 20.
His 4 overs are going to have to be handy 4 overs. That's always going to be an issue. But that batting lineup is it's powerful.
Yep.
Trying to find. I mean, if they play Marsh, Pooran, and Marsh, Pooran, Miller, Markram, they can't play an overseas bowler. They can't play Shamar. And Marsh is not bowling at the moment. So, yeah, it's a tough decision. Can they afford to leave one of those guys out and play Shamar Joseph? Because if those seamers are all injured, you know, we don't know about Mayank, whether they are looking... I mean, he might be injured and out of the tournament. They might be looking for a replacement for him. Rajvardhan Hungageka. Chennai boy, showed a lot of promise at a young age. Under 19 World Cup was really good. But does he get a start? He probably has to in that lineup with the others injured.
Lots to worry about.
Yeah, they're going to have to get 250, 260, I think, to try and defend it, because if their bowling lineup's a bit weak.
Win the toss, chase all the time.
Oh, not all the time. Depends on the situation in terms of the day or the night. But tomorrow night, you'd want to be chasing, without doubt.
The match will be played in Visakhapatnam. This is meant to be a home game for the Delhi Capitals. They've been in trouble as well with the decision of Harry Brook to not come to the IPL. 2 weeks before the IPL, they haven't named a replacement. It's not fair on DC.
No, and the rules are the rules. You know, Harry will now have to serve a ban. I think it's 2 years that he'll have to serve, and in the IPL and the owners, I can't imagine he'll be top of the tree in a couple of years' time to come back with. Obviously, he didn't come last year. He's pulled out this year, and I think England made it very, very clear. You know, they were pretty much honest. Last year, I think they did 1 or 2 of them a favour, and maybe rang up the franchises and. Dare I say it, made the odd excuse or 2. This year they made it very clear. If you put yourself in the auction, if you pull out, you've got to serve your ban. And it's fair and right. And, you know, when you get that call, was it about a week before or 10 days before?
Yeah, 12.
They clearly haven't been able to find a replacement. I did hear a whisper that they went for Ben Duckett, but Ben Duckett doesn't want to come over.
Darryl Mitchell is one of the other options.
Darryl Mitchell as well, but I do think that they tried to get Ben Duckett to come over. He didn't fancy coming over either. So I actually look at Harry Brook's game, and I'm not too sure what's going on away from the game, but in terms of his game to develop as being, you know, we talked about that bracket, you know, the top bracket. Rachim Ravinder's in that bracket. Harry Brook's not in that bracket at the minute.
Not yet.
You know, to get into that bracket, what does he need to get better at? Playing spin, playing in India. You know, that's the one area of his game. You look at Pakistan, when it's flat, he's been incredible. As soon as the ball spun in Pakistan, he struggled a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, most teams now, you look at him in the one-day series against India, he had the odd 50, the odd flamboyant 50 innings, but, you know, when the ball was just gripping and just grabbing a little bit, there's just a few things in his game that he just needs to improve upon. So I would have thought that playing here in the IPL, particularly that he's in the hat to be the T20 white ball captain of England, in a year's time, there's a T20 World Cup, where is it? India and Sri Lanka. You'd have thought that this period here, playing in the IPL, for his game personally, could have been a really valuable one.
Brook pulling out means they have one less foreign player to choose from. Just 6 foreign players. Who are your 4, Simon?
Well, Fraser McGurk, 100%. Mitchell Stark.
Faf du Plessis, vice captain. And you got to play Stark and
I mean, what do they do about their bowling lineup? Mukesh, Mohit, Kuldeep, Stark.
Natarajan.
Axar's obviously going to do a job through the middle. They can bring one in as well. So you probably think Fraser McGurk, Faf, Stark and Stubbs would be the 4 you're looking at there. And if Stark needs a rest like he did last year, Chamira is not a bad replacement from my mind. It's a side I think is a very strong side on paper.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Axar Patel is one of the unsung heroes of Indian cricket in the last few years.
Yeah, he's a brilliant player.
He's a cracking player.
Brilliant.
You know, and to me, he's just that genuine all-rounder. He gun in the field. He will. I mean, look at the Champions Trophy. He was popped into bat at 5 when there was either trouble or something was needed. He just never lets you down.
He's done that in red ball cricket as well.
Everything.
Yeah.
Just as an international cricketer, he doesn't quite get the plaudits he deserves, I don't think. And he very rarely ever lets any team down that he plays for. So I'm pleased to see he's captain.
Yeah.
I think that responsibility will make him even better. And as I say, with the ball, with the bat and in the field, I just think he's, you know, I mean, he's had to play second fiddle to one of the best we've seen in Jadeja for a long, long period of time. But he's not far behind. I tell you what, he's running him close.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's 2 names I'm going to mention. Jake Fraser McGurk at the top of the order.
Yeah.
Wonderful talent, but I'm now expecting him to be more consistent.
Yeah.
You know, that youthfulness that you give young players, that little bit of string. You know, that little bit of string, you say, go on, have a go.
Yep.
Well, that string now, for me, has run out.
Yeah.
You know, he's now got to deliver. He's now got to start getting his... He's not a senior player, but he's played enough T20 cricket, white ball cricket, internationally, franchise, to realise that he can't just go out and play one way. You've got to have a little bit more than just trying to smack every ball for 6. So, looking forward to seeing how he goes. And the new mentor of Delhi, Kevin Peterson.